Hey, what's up? This is Marcus, and in today's video, we are going to take a look at a new plugin, at least new for me, and it is called the ALLCOMP, and this is from Ken Lewis, who is a producer, recording engineer, sound design. I mean, this dude does it all, and he has like 114 platinum and gold records. But how I found out about him was through the Help Me Devon podcast. And I saw that he had released a plugin. And the thing about it was nobody knew about this plugin, you know, and he was like real nonchalant about it. He wasn't like begging people to go buy his plugin or anything like that. And so I was like, you know what? Let me try it out and see what it's like. So I tried it out and I actually like it. Also, right now it is on sale for $75, which is still on the pricier side, but without that, it costs about $145, I think, or $149. But I think I am going to end up picking this up. So before I dive into the functions of this plugin, I want to talk about a few things with this plugin that I found interesting. So one of the things that I noticed about this plugin is there are no numbers. So there's nothing telling you what frequency you're cutting or boosting. As you can see, you have this knob right here, and this controls the processing. And normally you see a percentage. When you have these kind of knobs, I don't see anything. There's nothing there. Even with the input, nothing. So there's no numbers anywhere. And at first I thought that was I was like, well, that's kind of weird. But if you think about it, basically it makes you focus more on the sound and the feel than worrying about the technical, you know, worrying about the numbers, if this is 2 dB, 3 dB, what frequency is this? If it sounds good, then roll with it. And I believe that's what he's trying to do with this plugin, is eliminate all that, just so you can focus on what's right in front of you. Use this, listen, and turn a knob and get instant results. All right, so to go over some of the controls about this plugin, we can start at the very top, and you have your power button, turns it on and off. Next to that, you have a bypass, and this is a bypass that only works for the 5 compressor chains that you see up here. So those, you can still use the bottom half if you need to. All right, coming down underneath, this is where you see your 5 chains. We have vocals, low end, punch, smooth, and heat. Now, to kind of go over what exactly these are and what they're doing, I can kind of touch on it a little bit, but I will say that as far as in the manual, there is no manual. So I couldn't find a manual. I looked for a manual on the website. There's not really much telling you what this plugin is doing. And so they did say that there was a lot going on underneath the hood, a lot of processing that's going on with this plugin that you can't see, but you can definitely hear it. So the vocals, obviously, you can use that on vocals. You have the low end, which, you know, you can use on bass or anything like that. You also have the punch, which I've been using on drums, and I found out it works really good on drums. And then you have smooth, which I'm not too sure about smooth. I'm not sure exactly what smooth does, but I'll show it to you in a minute. It seems like it's a more gentle, softer compression. So maybe this is something you can use on the mix bus or whatever. I haven't really messed around with it yet. And then you have heat, and heat is like a heavy saturation. You can get some nice distortion, some nice crunch from that. But I also want to point out that you don't have to use this for what it says. So you don't have to use vocals on vocals and then that's it, you know, or use punch on drums. You can use this on anything, because each one of these chains, they respond different to sound. So it's not so much about what it says between the 5 of these. It's just a matter of what sound you're going for and the kind of feel that you want from this. They do have different forms of processing, different chains. These are his own personal chains, from what he said that he likes to use on the 5 things that you have listed here. I did watch a mix with this plugin, and he did say that there's 2 compressors in one chain and other things going on in a chain. So there's a lot still going on, and there's a lot I still don't know. So I'm only assuming some of these things, and this is just my opinion and my take from using this plugin. I could be dead wrong. You know what I'm saying? But that's why you should definitely try it out yourself if you know, like what you hear today. In the top right hand corner, if you click here, this is where you can make the GUI bigger. Close that out. Then you have your input and your output. And then As I said, you have this big knob. This controls the processing for the 5 chains that you see listed up here. This is going to give you more processing. This is less processing. You have your input VU meter, and then next to that you have your gain reduction meter for the compressor. Underneath that we have, which they call these tone shaping options or tone shaping functions. And as you can see, you have high pass and low pass filter, which you can use in pre or post. Next to that you have levitate. And levitate is a tilt EQ. So if you tilt it more to the left, it's going to be bottom heavy. If you tilt it to the right, it's going to be top end heavy. And then you also have the slider underneath to kind of fine tune it a little more. Now also, when you click on these, if you have it bypassed, which the light is off, that means it's bypassed. As soon as you touch it, then it activates and turns on. Next to that we have mash, and mash is like a parallel compression, but it seems like it's doing a bit more, but it does sound like really heavy compression blending in parallel. At least that's what I get from it. All right. Next to that we have awaken, and as far as awaken goes, I'm not sure if this is just an exciter or if it's more of a EQ just with a certain frequency for, you know, the presence and the air. So I'm not sure about that one. Next to that we have oxidate, which is a reverb and about the only thing with numbers, and you have 5 different options to choose from for your reverb. And then last we have the mix knob. How I'm going to do these examples today, I want to make sure that everything is off, and the only thing that we're going to be focusing on for right now is just the 5 compressor chains. So we're just going to run audio through these just to see how these are reacting without using the processing knob to get more processing. We're not going to do that just yet. So we're just going to run it through the chains. So I'm going to start with it bypass, and then I'll add it in. All right, so as you can see from the gain reduction meter, if you were watching that, is that I am getting some compression slightly on all of them. Like the punch is the least amount. The least amount. You can still hear it just a little bit. But that just shows me that something is going on underneath the hood, because all of these are responding different. So there's something with these. They have different thresholds, attack times, release times, something different within the chain, especially the punch, to allow that lowing of the kick to come through. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to use the big processing knob to add in more of the processing to get more of the sound so you can hear it more. Now, before the gain stage police come after me, I am going to let you know that I am not gain staging all of these back and forth. So you will get heavier compression in some probably will be louder, some will probably be lower. But bear with me through these examples. Let's get it. So just for the sake of this video, I'm going to use Punch for now, and this is the one we're going to focus on. I'm going to take this down a bit, and then we're going to go underneath and start messing around with these. Now, I wouldn't probably necessarily use the tilt EQ on the drums or Awaken, but I'm going to do it just so you get an idea of what it's doing and what it sounds like.